Hey everybody, welcome back to Magic Time. I'm your host Thomas, and I'm here in my favorite spot, which is, I've filmed here before, which is right above Oakville, I would say probably about 700, 800 feet up onto the side of the Mayacamas Mountains, overlooking the entire Napa Valley. Special spot. Anyways, I wanted to talk today about those of you that are coming to the Napa Valley or doing a wine country trip here for the first time, and what you need to consider. So number one is you're going to fly into the area. There's 3 airports that you need to check. There's San Francisco International, SFO, there's Sacramento Airport, and there's also the option of flying into Santa Rosa. Now, the best of the options is Santa Rosa if you can afford to fly into Santa Rosa. It's going to cost you a little bit extra and there's not as many flights, but it's such a small, quaint, beautiful little airport that you just fly into. There's hardly any people there. There's no traffic getting in and out. You don't have to drive through the city and come all the way up to here. And Santa Rosa is about 20-30 minutes away from the Napa Valley. So I would definitely suggest that. Probably Sacramento would be my second option for that. So for the same reason, it's less busy. You don't have to go through Bay Area traffic. And but the ones that are going to be most affordable are going to be San Francisco, SFO, and Oakland as well. You can fly into Oakland. And I prefer Oakland over SFO, to be honest with you. Okay, so that's the number one thing. If you fly into San Francisco or Oakland, try to fly in at a time period where you're not going to be in rush hour traffic, because the drive from San Francisco or Oakland coming all the way up here to Napa Valley, it will take you 2 to 2.5 hours. If you come at rush hour traffic, meaning probably 4 or 5 in the afternoon coming back from the city to come up here, or in the morning times as well, the traffic can be pretty heavy. So probably try to fly in midday sometime or in the evening if you can. Number 2 is, where are you going to stay once you're up here? Well, there's several places you can stay. Definitely the most developed place now is downtown Napa, and there's lots of hotels in downtown Napa. I would imagine there's quite a few Airbnbs in downtown Napa as well. That's going to be the place with the most amenities, the most bars, most restaurants, and kind of the most city-like, if you like city things. Traveling up valley, the next place that you can look to stay in is Yountville. Now, Yountville's like, I've done a little video on Yountville. It's like the perfect little town, and there's amazing restaurants there. It's really quaint. There's a few hotels there, but they're pretty expensive, and I would imagine there's some Airbnbs there as well. Small town, closer into the valley too, if you're going to go to wineries and that's your main focus. Probably Yountville would be a good option because it's so central in the valley. Moving north, there's really nothing in terms of accommodations until you really get up to St. Helena. St. Helena, small town as well. Some good shopping. There's like a downtown little strip with a bunch of little boutique shops. Some nice restaurants down there as well. Sunshine Market, my favorite little grocer, is down there if you're planning on cooking from your Airbnb. There's less hotel accommodations there. There's a few small properties, and then I'm going to imagine there's quite a few Airbnbs up in St. Helena. Moving north, you could stay in the furthest part north in Napa Valley, which would be Calistoga. And then Calistoga, real small boutique town. I think it's one of the coolest places to stay, but it's also the most north. So if you're planning on visiting a lot of wineries that are further down here in the south part of the valley, whether it's in Oak Knoll or Oakville, Yountville down here, then I would probably suggest against Calistoga, even though it's one of my favorite places to stay. If you're planning on doing Howell Mountain or Spring Mountain, Calistoga is a good option. It's close to Howell Mountain and Spring Mountain. So those are the accommodations. In terms of wineries, I always would say plan your day to have enough time to get to your appointments, meaning when I first started traveling here, there was this thought that I had to go to as many wineries as possible because I had never been here before, and like I needed to go to 5-6 wineries in a day so I could fill out my itinerary and really see everything I wanted to see. That was okay maybe for the first few times I came, but I realized that the better way to do it and the more efficient way to do it is probably 3 in one day at maximum, meaning one at probably 10 o'clock in the morning when wineries open, another probably 2 hours later at about noon, then go to lunch and kind of refresh and kind of shake off that alcohol, drink some good water, get hydrated, and then do one more in the afternoon, maybe around 2:30 to 3 o'clock. So that's my ideal. Some people like to do more than that. I don't love doing that because you often go over on your appointments and then you're late, and then that never feels good to be late to a fixed appointment. And most wineries nowadays in Napa Valley are appointment only. So keep that in mind as well. It's not like just fly in and do whatever you want in terms of wineries. If you want to go to a specific place, make sure you call ahead and schedule your appointment for your tasting, because most of them are not walk-in tasting rooms anymore. There are a few of those left, but the ones you might want to see, the more boutique ones, are definitely appointment only. In terms of restaurants, you have all the restaurants that you could possibly want here. There's restaurants in every town that I mentioned in terms of accommodations. There's not a lot of middle of the road food. There's like super gourmet and like fine dining and like upscale, and then there's like fast food, but there's not a lot of like in between. If you want to save yourself a whole hell of a lot of money, get an Airbnb and then go shopping at Whole Foods or whatever and cook dinners at home. That kind of takes the fun out of going to fancy restaurants, and kind of one of the coolest things about Napa Valley is to go out dining and experience that. But if you are into just going to a wine trip and visiting as many wineries as possible and purchasing wine, I'd suggest getting an Airbnb and cooking at home. So those are some of my my little tips for you if you're planning your first wine trip here to Napa Valley. Remember, the dress code is really casual here. Blue jeans is fine, probably not sandals, but like, you know, blue jeans and some loafers and a, you know, maybe like a button up like this or a polo is just fine. You don't need to tuck in your shirt. You don't need to, certainly don't need to wear a tie or a suit. For women, you don't need to be wearing like a fancy dress. Although when I see people in little cocktail dresses, like, you immediately assume they're not from here. So if you want to definitely make a statement, you can do that. But if you want to kind of blend in and be part of the wine country thing, you know, just wear casual dress, like a jumper or something like that. Those are my tips for you, and thanks for watching the channel. Please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more beautiful views like this and more information about Napa Valley. Cheers.